My name is Natalie Perez, and I have an interview with the one and only Ciscandra of the band Nostalghia on February 14th, 2014. Can you give me a brief summary on how the band came together?
Sure. I posted an ad on Craigslist of all places, and I said that I was looking for someone that was serious and passionate about music, and I didn't really want anyone to waste my time. I was really looking for someone that was as in it as I am. You know, a lot of flaky people from Los Angeles, and I certainly wasn't looking for someone that was flaky. So I posted that ad, and I said what I wanted in a part and the kind of music that I wanted to create, and I described it cinematically, of course, not in musician terms, but more so visual. And I hadn't attached any music, and I hadn't attached a photo or anything like that. But strangely enough, I got a response from Mr. Roy Cannan, who's my bandmate now, and he sent me some of his music, and it was just gorgeous. And then I sent him some of mine, and I didn't want to meet up until we had worked on something back and forth, so we did that, and then I agreed to meet up, and we met at some coffee shop, and he was the loveliest person I've met thus far, so we wrote a record together.
Great to hear.
Again.
You, of course, were the one to come up with the name for the band, but were you aware that your name is also named for a movie that was made in 1983?
I am aware, because of the band name, that just, Roy actually wanted to name the band my last name. That's my last name, because I'm a nostalgia. So, I am aware of that now. I've never seen the film, but I hear it's really beautiful, and I kind of got to get around to it. I don't really watch movies that much.
Why did you want this particular act to be a duo act instead of like a full-fledged band or a trio band?
We don't consider ourselves a duo live. We always have another person. It's just the creative process, the orchestration and things like that we do together. But we don't really consider ourselves a duo. We consider ourselves a band because we always have another person on stage with us. You
call your music post-apocalyptic gypsy punk. Why did you think that this was the right wording for you guys?
A friend /fan of ours deemed it that, coined it that, and I just thought it was interesting and pretty humorous, and I guess fitting in some way, because when you hear that title, you're like, what in the world is that? And I suppose it's kind of the same thing when you listen to our music. I still don't know what the hell we are, so it makes sense. It's just, you get to see how it's the same reaction when you say that, as you would if you were to come and see us live.
Yeah, those were my thoughts when I first heard you guys, and then I saw the description. I'm all like, okay, that's a bit awkward. But hey, it fits. Did you play the video game Gods of War before you decided to throw a song on there, or are you not really into video games, or what happened with that?
I've played it once before. It's fun. I'm not a gamer. That's not my thing, but I don't really have the attention span for it. But it is a neat game. It came about because I was jamming with Tyler Bates, who does old music for God of War, and he was like, you want to make some vocals down for a video game I'm doing? I had no idea at the time that, I didn't even know what video game he was talking about, but I was, cool with him. I really liked his vibe, so I said, yeah, sure, I'll lay down some vocals. And it wasn't until, like, the day of after I had already recorded vocals that I found out what I was doing it for, and I was like, that's, pretty neat. But I did actually all the female vocals on that game. It wasn't just a song.
You've been involved in fashion shows. Why did you want to get involved in the fashion industry?
Mm, I wouldn't say I want to get involved in the fashion industry. I just see it kind of, I design all my clothes, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so fashion, it just kind of follows me because of it. I'm not one to really enjoy catwalks or something like that, but I guess I am fashion friendly. I love creating new clothing and new clothes, and because of that, I think we've harnessed attention from the fashion world. But let me say this: I don't like to just wear things that are strange or bizarre just for the sake of wearing something that's strange and bizarre. I have to feel it, and it has to be reflective of where I'm at personally too. I'm not the kind of person that just likes to wear crazy outfits on stage that are completely uncomfortable just to get noticed or something.
What else do you guys do outside of the band?
I'm a writer. I write and paint and live. And Roy is also a painter and a dreamer. We don't really carry normal lives. We pretty much get to be artists 24/7. So we sleep during the day and we we resurrect at night.
Sounds like a fun lifestyle. Just like me, I like sleeping during the day too, and then just hang out at night.
Why not? That's the way to do it.
What songs would you say on the new album has like a special meaning or story to it that you would want people to listen to the most?
The whole album is conceptual, and it's really a journey. I wouldn't be able to pick out one particular song that holds more meaning. They all hold meaning. But the concept that was kind of running through my mind when I was writing was the idea of a chrysalis, which is the title of the album. And a chrysalis is a hardened outer shell of a pupa, what eventually a moth comes out of, or a butterfly. And I put myself in complete captivity and put myself in extremely uncomfortable situations on purpose. It was a transformative few years for me. So that sound, the sound of a moth, is actually found throughout the entire album. And the last song, you hear the moth come out of my mouth. It's difficult to describe how you would hear that, but you do. You hear a moth come out of my mouth. So I wouldn't be able to pick one song, but I would say the whole thing is a transformative experience. It's an experience and a journey over, singles and hits.
Did you have enough time to record all of the songs that you wanted, or were there any that got left out that you'll probably include in a future release?
Well, I record at home, so I can record anytime I want to. But I'm constantly writing, and Roy is constantly writing as well. So, there's always songs that are written towards the very end. But, I don't really want to put this on. But the reality is, it should go on the next album because you can't fit 200 songs on one album. You've got to at some point let it go and say that it's complete. It's hard to do that because you keep thinking that the newest song is the best one, and so you kind of have to let it go and free it from your wormy hands, I suppose.
Man, 200 songs. Why don't you do that? Just release like a mega album.
I know. I would love to someday. I probably will. There's a ton of songs that have not been released that I probably wouldn't even release on the next record because I'm already bored of them.
Did you feel any aspects of the album were overlooked?
When I first write a song, I love it for about a day. And then I quickly am like, okay, we've got to orchestrate this because you're turning ugly things, all these ugly thoughts, all these ugly feelings, at least they feel ugly to me. They're turning them into something beautiful. And so I try to turn it into something beautiful as quick as possible, Ryan, by those. But after a week, I already hate the song and I never want to hear it again. So I think I feel that way about every song on the album. I can't even listen to my own record when it's done. Truly, I can't listen to it. I turn it off every time Roy turns it on. So I think that I'm a perfectionist to the max. I always find things that we could have done better, and if there was a bigger budget, we could have done this. And I have all sorts of ideas that I'm constantly wanting to execute, and some of them are tangible, and some of them just aren't. And so I'm never completely happy with any of it.
Since you say that you have like a ton of ideas, do you see this album to branch out into any other mediums like graphic novel or film or a series of music videos that all tie together or anything like that?
Certainly. I just made a music video for us, and I didn't realize before how cinematic the music was until I made that. So I've actually been kind of toying with the idea of making a film based on the record and incorporating the music, obviously. So I can definitely see it taking shape in different mediums.
We, of course, talked about the genre name of choice for you guys, but when I listened to your music, it brought to mind like Emily Autumn and Tim Burton and One-Eyed Doll, all that, weird stuff that made it really creative and cool. Do you think that those topics fall between the lines of the music you guys are trying to do, or you don't think it even hits those areas?
I love Tim Burton. I think that he's wonderful. He's truly a genius, and I love all of his work. I don't think we've ever started writing a song and had the intent of trying to be something. If you listen to each song, you start realizing that there's really not. It's all based on emotions, and it's all very emotive. For instance, I scream in Cool for Chaos, but I sound like a child in You and I. So, it's not one-dimensional. It's a full spectrum of thoughts and feelings, and we're certainly not trying to sound like anything. I don't even really listen to music all that much. I listen to it when my friends will play me, new tunes that they love, and, usually I'll love it. I love music, but I'm not like a huge fan. I don't really sit around listening to any single person to even be able to say, oh, I'm trying to be like this, I think most artists probably, I don't know. I don't know what most artists think. Never mind. I just know that no, we don't influence, we have no intent of like trying to be a specific thing. In fact, as soon as I become one rigid thing, I'm breaking the boundary and piss myself off by just, feeling like I'm shackled to it. So I'm constantly morphing and changing and trying new things.
You guys are already, one of those acts that really stands out and is out there, but why should people be interested in checking you guys out?
They shouldn't. Nobody should be interested. Nobody should be interested at all. I don't know. I suppose, especially nowadays, I'm not sure if it's especially nowadays, but it seems like, there's a conglomeration of great music out there, but it's very rare that you hear music that's emotive. Strangely enough, there's not a lot of emotional music, which I just started realizing just in, seeing the bands that my friends were listening to. And I think one thing that we get a lot, especially live, or even, based on the recorded music, but especially live, people see that it's very much based in emotion, and it's very much based in feeling, and it's all or nothing, and, death and rebirth, and so I think that it wakes people up in some way when most music is lulling everyone to sleep, and that's always what I've wanted. That's what I've wanted to do for myself, is wake myself up. When I'm writing, that's what it does. It makes me feel alive. So I think that, people that want to come and see a show listen to something that makes them feel alive and reminds them of that strange space that we all have within ourselves. It's a sort of acceptance that it gives people. I think it's like to hear someone, especially to see someone break down in front of you and give you everything, blood, sweat, and tears, literally in front of you. I mean, especially as a woman, to see a woman do that is powerful, and I think that people have been, interested for that reason. Make you feel something, and I mean, isn't that what we all want? That's why we go on roller coasters, right? We want to feel alive.
Yeah, exactly. Always have to, feel something, or else...
Right.
There's nothing there. What else do you guys have planned for this year? You're of course heading out to Australia, but where else can we expect to see you and see from you guys?
Well, we just got off tour with 30 Seconds to Mars, and then we're gonna go to Australia for Soundwave, which should be cool. I'm not one of the only females on the entire bill. It's humorous to me. It's like a bunch of dude bands. And then, I'm not sure what we're doing after, but we're definitely going to be on tour. I'm just not sure which tour we're going to hop on yet. And, writing music as always, and I'm going to be starting to make films a lot, and I'm becoming obsessed with it, so we'll be making films to the music and writing more, doing what we do. Sleeping during the day.
And do you have any last words you would like to say to wrap this up?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Goodbye. And thank you. You've been lovely. You asked interesting questions.